Welcome to that spiritual, actual, factual answers to questions you're asking. You find them inside you, recite you, reciting the records of cash. We laughing, we drafting the passion through vary. It's time for that comedy, dramedy, all of the fanciest, catchiest acronyms. Listeners, listen, we traveling. Conscious is always unraveling. The reading you're having is mapping you back to your natural habitat. Abracadabra, it's magicless, passing it. To top it off, the host, all the classiest. Now, what were you asking for? All of the answers? What? All the answers.
Hello. Oh God, that was loud. Okay, that's okay. I know. Guess what I'm sitting in? That's right, baby. Desmond was here for the movie night, and he mentioned that he and Margaret bond about the squeakiness of the chair, and I was like, okay, I'm sold. Between the two of you and Cassidy, I'm a douche if I don't just use a different chair. Apparently, too, like if I ever type, it's very loud. Yeah, well, now I'm glad he told me, because I'm like, okay, no more typey. Hey, boo. Can I ask you a small favor? Will you close this door when you have a second? I can't get out because I have a special chair situation for the podcast. Thank you. See?
I need the picture.
No, it's like I stole one of our comfy, big, oversized living room chairs and I put it here and he's like, I'm taking a picture of you.
You're like the character Tiny Legs from Rick and Morty right now.
Are you hearing him? Yeah.
Recording all of this.
I've been recording the whole time. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Oh, I have not. So it's all pointless.
Desmond and Cassidy?
Yeah.
Hey, Desmond and Cassidy?
He says
No,
hi,
Desmond.
and Cassidy. Yeah, but Desmond will hear this in the future.
I mean, in theory, it's true. He will hear him in the...
It's Cassidy right now.
Hi, Cassidy, and later Desmond.
Hi, Cassidy, and later Desmond.
Hi, Eric.
Bye.
Hi, Katie and
Bye.
Cassidy.
Bye. Listen to the voice memo I just left you. Now get the fuck out of here.
Okay,
You
leave.
get your fucking ass.
I'm into it.
Right?
Yeah, I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, bye. Oh my God, this poor man and this poor woman. Okay.
You guys going to try nipple clamps? Is that... I'm into it.
No, I sent him this. Here's a fun idea to share with the podcasting world. I heard this thing. I've been like listening to what do people who become millionaires, like really, really wealthy people, like $100 million people, like how do they think? What's their whole jam? What's that about?
Okay.
Because there's all this like articles that are written that are about like what's different between how really rich people think about money and relate to it from how we think about it.
Okay.
And this one guy summarized it, some coachy guy or millionaire, I don't know what he is. He said, people in the quote, quote, lower class or blue collar financial sector consume goods. Middle class people make purchases with their credit score in mind, and wealthy people only purchase things that will make them money. Like they're always thinking about whatever I buy has to make me money later. And I was like, that is interesting.
Even a Bugatti motorcycle or a...
Yeah, because you can resell a Bugatti more than you can resell a Hyundai.
Okay.
You know, like if you buy like a house that's a fixer upper and you fix it up, you're going to spend money on that, but then you can sell that house for way more money.
Right.
You know, if you, whatever, there's a million examples, but
Right.
It was like, I really like that idea. I'm like, cause it's not that hard of a shift to go from like, let me make choices that won't fuck me up to AKA middle class thinking.
Right.
To let me make choices that in the future add up to more.
Right.
I'm like, that is some shit right there. And then they were talking about like, diversifying funds. You know how that's always advised. It's like, have a diverse portfolio. This one guy was saying really wealthy people get very successful at one thing first, make a fuck ton of money, and then diversify, that it can actually slow you won't make as much money if you diversify at the beginning.
Right. Because it's just going to be slow up and downs in every direction.
Yeah. And it's stuff like that I find very interesting. And I'm like, I'm also like, this one article I was reading was a guy talking about how he had 12 businesses and now has plus 1,200 apartment buildings that he owns. You know, and he was self-made. Nobody helped. He didn't have any, like, whatever. Even though I do like the idea, I heard recently that, like, anyone who tells you they're self-made, it's like,
No. No one is.
Nobody is. Right. Where'd you come from and how white are you and how many people supported you in childhood and how
Yeah.
set up were you in the system to succeed, etc. However, anyway, he came from a family with no money and he had no money and he made money. And he was talking about, oh, I lost my train of thought there on that sidebar. What was I saying? Well, anyway, rich people think differently and I kind of want to think like them.
Yeah. I mean, yes, and there's just the basic thing of if you have a certain amount of money, you can make choices
That's
as to
right.
what you do with your money instead of just paying rent and food.
That's right. It helps. Yeah, making money helps if you have some money.
I mean, that option, I mean, it's a mindset to start to think about. Yeah, like don't spend money. I mean, on the simple, I'm pretty middle class and like I would say that, when I buy things, I buy them cheap because I'm cheap, but then I have a cheap thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Other friends buy the really good version of something, but then they only buy it once,
Yeah, I do that. But, but to counter just a little bit against the idea of it helps to have money to make money, it is true. You kind of have to have money to make money. You can still get to there. In other words, like you could be someone with no money.
Yeah.
And then you could like start a business or get a job.
Right.
And make some money and then start doing stuff with it. So it doesn't mean you have to have been born with money. It means you have to be willing to work enough to get some to then do some stuff that's smart with it.
Do more with and then.
Yeah.
But money begets money. It's 100% true. There's no question that you need money to make money. So if you haven't gathered it up.
Yeah, but you can. You can gather it up.
But once you gather, right. So if you're never gathering it up, you won't grow. You won't just start making more money at a higher paying job necessarily because you'll still live within the means of what that gives you. That's the other thing is like, I have way less debt and more liquidity than people who make 5 times what I make.
Yeah.
Just because they live
beyond their means. Because they still, it's like when they build more lanes for traffic, those will fill. Like that's how it will fill to fit the available container. Yeah.
And so, if someone is living a certain way and then they start making more money, they'll still live that way, just spending more of it. And then they're still, someone was telling me about a friend of theirs who makes 6 figures, but a lot of them, in the 200s or 300s. And yet because they have to have that white leather couch, they're stressed about money all the time.
Yeah.
They're completely strapped.
Yeah, everybody, listen, on every level and in every angle you can come at money, there are ways to get fucked up in the head about it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't okay, I'm a reasonable person who's living below my means, which is so smart of you. You're the perfect example of if you have more liquidity than someone making more than you, you're the perfect candidate to put a lot of it in smart places so it could grow.
Yeah. And I don't go on very many vacations and I have a 20-year-old car but it runs.
Yeah, so smart.
Gets me where I want to go.
But so what do you do? Do you you could let's
be clear, I also inherited a house.
Yeah.
So that everything I'm saying, there's no inherent morality in my standing.
No, nobody thinks that.
I know, but I'm just
nobody's
saying,
judging you for your white guyness right now. You don't
maybe
have to
I would
prove your worth and value.
But yeah, given that, I still, No,
but I'm asking you now. So does it ever occur to you, I don't know, to put it places where it'll grow?
Oh, I do. I've been doing that lately.
Oh, that's cool.
I have a chunk of change in a high yield savings account right now.
Wow. Good for you.
I set aside, I can't touch it for 11 months and then I'll have couple more thousand than when I started.
Did you hear me praise you?
I did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hold on. I've got to, you know what? I can't because the fan will be too loud. I'm just going to die. I'm just going to let you know.
Listen.
I will die by the end of this session.
How are you going to meet your next romantic partner through the podcast if you're dead? Maybe it's not a next romantic partner because I know you got some fun stuff going on. But maybe it's some job or some miracle something. Your second home. How are you going to find someone who hands you your second home?
I don't plan to die. I might melt. So I might
turn the fan on.
I might reach another state, which would be amazing. It's like transcendence to reach
Turn
another
the fan
state.
on.
I'd have to get up and plug it in. It's a whole
Cassidy,
thing.
turn the fan on.
I'm good. I'm good for
Oh
now.
my
I'll let you
God.
know if that changes.
All right.
Love you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm such
Why are you antagonizing me with
Right.
love
Right.
and support?
I'm a self-pres 8. I'm like, if you could take care of your body, go take care of it
Do it.
above
Do
all
it.
things.
Get 4 different drinks at dinner.
Exactly. Meet all of your physical needs now.
Do it. What's going on, Katie? What is happening in life?
All right. I have a preacher moment. I have a moment.
Hallelujah.
You know how some podcasts, there's like a moment of Zen or,
Yeah.
Katie's corner or
Yeah.
like, what do
we have Rami's rules.
I know, but like of the hosts,
Yeah.
we could have a Cassidy's qualities.
What is... We're workshopping it. We're still
new.
auditioning ideas.
It's new material. Okay, so this funny thing happened. I'll tell this in the funny way, and then I'll get into the deep thing about it.
Okay.
A good friend of mine is an actor on the East Coast. I think nobody you know, I think, or maybe you know her, but I don't want to say her name here.
Gotcha.
Here, but I'll type, and it'll be so
Type loudly.
loud.
Okay, everyone just pause and say nothing while you're typing.
We're gonna delete this though. Oh, I'm gonna say nothing so he can delete it.
Yeah.
Okay, here I go, saying nothing.
I know the name.
Okay.
I don't know them well.
This is a good friend of mine. Okay.
Right.
And we talk on Polo a lot. And I'm going to call them, I'm going to say this man, this bird.
This bird. This otter.
This otter that I know books commercials like he's falling off a log. Like he can just show up messy and bad at it, unprepared, and just book in a couple a month. Just commercial after commercial, no problem, right? Meanwhile, all of the rest of the actors on Earth are like, could I book one? Can I have a commercial this year? That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
Could I even go on an audition? So this person's going on auditions 5 a week and book in 3 a month. And it's incredible to watch. I mean, every other minute they're at a commercial shoot that they didn't try for. Now, they didn't like have to try hard.
Right.
And they're very good at it. Let's be clear, very good at commercial acting. Like it's kind of their what do you call it? Wheelhouse. Okay. They hate it. They hate doing it. They hate being on set.
I hate all the commercials.
No, they hate everything about the whole industry now. They like have grown and changed, done a lot of work. And they're just like, I realized about a decade ago, I started to hate this. And then over the course of 10 years, I've grown to despise every single thing about it. I've analyzed it from every direction. I've done all this trauma work thinking there was something wrong with me for hating it. I have so many actor friends who are desperate for commercial work. I'm real good at it. I make excellent money doing it. And I have known this is bad for me and I have to stop for like 10 years.
Wow.
And obviously they have struggled to let it go.
Yeah.
Because when you're good at it, other people would kill for it and you're making a bunch of money doing it. How do you stop? So stay with me.
I'm with you.
They're telling me all this. And like, how do I say? Over the years when we've been friends, I've heard much subtler, different versions of this than they haven't been this clear with me about this until a couple days ago, where they just came out with it and they were like, all right, here's the truth. I'm ready to admit this. They're also significantly younger than me, which I'm very impressed by. And they're early to mid 30s, maybe. Anyway, they were like telling me everything I just told you. Like, I actually am sad when the agent says you booked it because I'm going to have to go to New York and do it. And I'm so bummed out because then I would rather have my day to myself to do what I want to do, which is like run my errands and live. I don't want to do it. And they got to this point where they were just like, the still small voice in me is very clear, but I keep getting pulled back in by the addictive adrenaline excitement of you got a call back, you got the job, this money's coming in, they thought you were so good. All these like approval energies hitting them. And they explained to me, I have just now realized the difference between like the still small voice of truth within me and the addiction to the adrenaline hit of all those highs that comes in. And for some people, they were saying they have both. They're like, oh my God, all these adrenaline highs and the still small voice says, do the thing. I have one and not the other, and I'm done. And they sent an email to their agent saying, thank you so much for all your help, and I'm stepping out of this world.
Wow.
And we've been talking about it for a couple of days as they got ready to do it. And they messaged me this morning and said, I hit send, and they said, I feel like it's summer vacation. And they said, you know how when you were a kid, summer vacation was like a feeling of forever. It just goes forever. Summer vacation never ends.
Yeah.
It's so long, and you just get to do whatever you want, and that's how they feel, having quit being a very successful commercial actor. Okay. You with me so far?
Yeah.
Amazing, right? I'm amazed.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm amazed.
Bold move. Yeah. Like that's a strong move.
I'm impressed and amazed because I'm not them, and I would like more commercials. I'm getting new pictures so I can try to get commercial work because I like commercials a lot. I love them. They're fast. They're easy. You make a lot of money. It's great. It's not for my friend. Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking back and forth, and I am not in any way somehow connecting this to this problem I'm having in my life at all. And then yesterday, okay, this is where I have to just think about. So I've been teaching this one class at Stanford in the continuing studies department 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
Even when I've been not living in California. Then I came back to California, and I was able to pick up going to campus again. And I don't think I've liked doing it for about 3 to 4 of those years.
Right.
But each week I go and I'm real good at it.
Yep.
And they're so impressed by me and the brilliant words I say and how insightful I am and how it changes their lives. And every time and then after the class, I always go, well, I'm on cloud 9. I feel good, right? Driving there, we've talked about this, but I'm going to say more. Driving there, I don't want to do it. And I mean, like in this recent round, it's been like nothing in me cares about this at all.
Yeah.
And I am so bummed that I have to do it.
Yeah.
And it even got to the point where during the last 4 classes I had, I was like checking the clock every 10 minutes. When is this over? Usually when I've been teaching in the past, it flies by and I go, wow, I can't even, that just.
Yeah, and once you're in it, you just do it.
Yeah. And afterwards, I'm so happy I did it. But this conversation with my friend over time has made me realize. And then I had these 2 big healing sessions back to back this week with my buddy who I work with myself, which by the way, Dr. Lisa Koenig, Koenig. You guys so we do the 2-person sessions now. It's official. You can come see us. Cassidy came, Rami came.
Did.
You should come.
It's great.
And I had 2 sessions with Lisa, one this morning and one yesterday in the beginning part of the day. Then I drove down, taught that class. It was the final class. Final countdown. I didn't want to go, didn't enjoy being there, and was relieved when it was over and realized I had this like moment of clarity where I was like, oh, I just don't like doing this. In other words, I've been doing all this mental gymnastics. I'm going to yes and it. I'm going to be positive. It's such good money. They think I'm so smart. I'm doing such a good service. They love me. It's not that hard. It's only 2 hours. It's once a week. What are you complaining about? What a spoiled bitch. Like, I can come up with a lot of reasons why it's not okay for me to just be like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And then yesterday was just like, ping. I had this like deep session that connected me with myself even more, which is what every session does. And I just was like, oh, I just don't like this. What if it's just that simple? I just don't like doing this and specifically what it is like that class with that population is right. I'm not into it. I don't want to do that.
There's nothing there for you. And it's a shit commute.
But it's tough because I'm impressive and they like me and the money's good. And what if my business doesn't work?
Yeah.
And it's good buffer money. And I just yesterday hit I don't care about any of it anymore. So I'm like, done. And so then I messaged my friend and I was like, you're not going to believe this. I didn't even think about this, but I've been going through my own exact version of what you've been going through. yours is like so sexy that it's, in my mind, I'm like, well, of course, like whatever. But in your,
Yeah.
mine just seems like, well, nobody wants to teach. Teaching is hard.
Yeah, here's just a little class. This is a person who's on top of they're the most in-demand commercial actor in the industry. And
I mean, like, really. So
you're just some fucking teacher.
this is a positive. Well, a Stanford instructor is kind of a big deal still. But
No, I'm underplaying it on purpose.
yeah, no, 100%. And so I just want to throw that idea out for the people. It's like, I'm sad that it took me 3 or 4 years of really not wanting to do this to really own, I don't want to do this. But at the same time, it's like been a dipstick measuring tool for me to see, like, how do I say? As of yesterday, I'm like, oh, wow, I don't think I'm going to do too many more things like that in my life, because the healing stuff, the more integration there is, the more connection with my belly, the more this stuff moves out of my spine about baby trauma, dark stuff, which, God, I could talk about that healing yesterday for hours. But anyway, the more it's like, oh, there I am. There's just this really simple sense of, like, it's not very lofty. I'm not up in the records. I'm not fancy. I'm just like, oh, here I am. I'm just right here with me. And I'm having all these insights about my human design chart, which I can say more words about because I do think it'd be useful for people listening who are interested in human design. But just things become simple. Oh, I just don't like doing that is plenty of a reason to not do a thing.
There's plenty of information. Yeah.
You don't need to justify. You don't need to figure it out. There doesn't have to be a great explanation. It's like one time I was dating someone and I was talking to Cassidy, friend of the podcast, and she said, I was going on and on about, I don't think we can be together because this, that. She said, you understand that just you not wanting to be there is enough of a reason? And I didn't understand. And I was like, it is? And she was like, yeah, dude, that's enough.
Yeah.
That was years ago. And it changed. It really helped me.
I'm still working on that one. Just the idea, for me, it is things around commitment also, which I think is related to
generator.
Yeah. And it's related to this idea of like, well, they like me and they value me. So, and I agreed to be there. So I have to be there. Even just like, we went through some rigmarole to get together with some friends, and we've talked about this before, and everybody else is perfectly happy to go, you guys, I'm not going to make it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm perfectly fine with them saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'm allowed.
Totally.
And I will kind of generate a reason instead of just being like, I don't fucking want to do that tonight.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it's fine. Obviously, there are things we have to do because we agreed to do them because it has a much greater impact for us not to do it.
Right.
And we care about other people and we don't want to fuck up their world as badly.
Right.
But so much of what we do in our life is just like, yeah, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah. Right.
And that is enough.
It's so enough. And what I want to say to all the generators and manifesting generators out there is we always have to remember, do I have energy for it? Does it make me feel more like myself? And, oh God, I lost the third one. Do I have energy for it? Does it make me feel more like myself? Oh my God, I can't believe it. I just said this to a client 5 minutes ago. Do I have energy for it? Does it make me feel more like myself?
That's usually the third one.
Oh, and is it satisfying?
Is it satisfying?
And I'm just like, with that gig, no, sometimes, and no. And that's a majority no.
Yeah, that's 2 out of 3.
And as of these last 3 classes, I'd say it was a triple no. None of that was happening. No. There have been times, and I just want to say this, where I've shifted my attitude around that class and all 3 have been a yes, and it's not anymore. It's not. So anyway, generators, the teaching is always, if you're dragging yourself to something or through something, that's not a yes.
Yeah.
That's a no, I don't have energy for it. The problem with being a generator is we have so much energy that we can drag ourselves through things. You can physically do it. Like when you're a projector, it's hard. It's hard to drag yourself through things because they don't have a sacral motor. But a generator who doesn't want to do a thing, it's hard to motivate us to do that thing. But we can drag ourselves there. But anytime you're dragging yourself anywhere, you don't want to be there and you don't have energy for it and it's not satisfying and it doesn't make you feel more like you. Not today.
Not today.
It could make you feel more like you on another day. So it's not like permanently does it make you feel more like you.
Yeah.
Anyway, but to make your point or to add to what you were saying, it's not like I dropped the class in the middle of the quarter when I sort of realized
you're still going to show up. The students are there.
But now that it's over,
Dunzo.
Oh my God, the weight lift. I just feel like weight lifted. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's great. That's cool.
Oh, I lost you. You're frozen.
I like that.
Can you hear the words I'm saying?
Thought I had something else came up in my brain and it went away. So we'll come back if we do. It's good to be free of things. That feels good. Oh, you froze.
Hello?
You froze with the most disgusted look on your face, most judgmental look on your face, just because of where you froze was like this. I was like, really? Is that what you're going to say?
Oh, you were frozen to me. That's so weird when that happens.
Yeah, we both froze for a sec. But I was looking at you, and for a second, I thought you were just really giving me stink eye. And then I realized it was the transitional face of you just going,
Yeah, of course.
And I got really worried because I worry about your judgment of me all the time.
No, you do not.
I do not. I think, I mean...
You do some.
I definitely do some, and I do that with everybody.
With
some,
everybody.
But I do way less than I used to.
That's great.
These are my healing points. I think about other people a little bit less.
Progress.
I do things that I want to do a little bit more.
Progress.
I make choices based on me a little bit more.
Progress, not perfection.
Big one that I acknowledged today, but I talked about a few weeks ago. I'm way less ticklish than I was ever.
You shared that. That's such a
huge
trip.
to me.
Yeah.
As a trip. I mean, I think that has to do with some of the embodiment work I've been doing for myself of just not putting up the defenses towards feeling things, because ticklishness is like, don't get away from me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, yeah, you can touch me there. Okay, that's ticklish, but so much less.
And was this like a problem? It was keeping you up at night, or it was like showing up a lot, or?
No, but it was I feel like it was a symptom or a demonstration of a much greater thing. It was related to, like, this is repetitive. I've said this before, but whatever. I have always hated soft touch.
Right.
Drive me batty.
You've said that, right?
And I don't hate it anymore. It's fine. And what is that? And I was looking into it. And I used to also have like early in Denise in my relationship, she's such an imp, and she's a discomfort succubus, she likes to say. She really enjoys those edges of like, oh, you're getting a little panicky there. Now I really want to do more of that, right?
Yeah.
And I would go into full panic mode, and she would be like, oh shit, this is real. You're in actual full panic mode. And I was not in danger.
Yeah.
Actually, but there was something about being pushed at those places that would put me into like hyperventilation, like full. And it was very similar to the feel of what soft, strokey touch used to do to me too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's all connected to some kind of defense that I
agree.
Feel like I started to heal recently.
That's cool.
So that was exciting. It's one of the, I want to acknowledge it because it's something you've said before too. Like, see, you have breakthroughs too. Don't say you don't. You feel things too. And I do. I like, honest, deep, perceptible shifts have occurred on the physical level that I can point to.
That's great.
So do your fucking work, people.
Wow. Watch out. Cassidy will beat you up if you don't.
I will spiritually beat your ass.
Huh. What does that look like? Spiritual abuse. Just that face you're making there?
Looks like I'm trying to fart.
Oh, boy. I saw a really funny fart video today. Oh, my God. So funny. Okay,
let's get to the serious, important stuff here. Go.
I'm gonna show it to you. I'm going to show you the image, and then I'm going to describe it for the people, just so you can see this image.
You're not going to show me like a sphincter opening, are you?
No. Let me unfuzzy my background so you can see this, and then we'll describe it to the people.
Okay. Oh, yes, I've seen this one. This guy builds like a tube from like 200 yards away from his house.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah. And it says, the image is her, the words on top of the image say her, he's probably out cheating, crying face. And then it's below that, it says me, and the me is this guy making a video where he's talking to the camera, and there's a tube pointing at the camera dug into the ground. And he's like, okay, I'm going to attempt a 250-yard fart. I'm going to run 250 yards away, fart into this tube, and the fart is going to come out right here at the end of this tube, right into the camera. Bear with me. Then you watch him run away from the camera, fart into a tube.
And you hear it on the camera.
And you hear it slightly on the camera.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so funny. It's such a funny video idea and meme, because projection, right? What women sometimes decide, or men, or whoever about what's
Decide what they think the story is.
Yeah, what we decide is going on with someone else when what's really going on. It's just, that's such a funny way to describe all that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I was literally just thinking about farting.
Really?
No,
Oh, he was. I see. Yeah.
he was. That's all. Just thinking about how he never loved me and that he wishes I could lose some weight. And
Exactly.
no, I was just thinking about farting.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I could play drums on your butt, like that's,
Boy, is it regularly that.
it's mostly just playing drums on the butt.
It's pretty much just that.
There's a really great series of little animations. It's these sort of, I don't know, they're like little line drawn, maybe they're like teddy bears or koalas or something, but they're very simple line drawn. And they're a couple, clearly. And it's most of the time, it's just like one sitting there like doing something and the other coming up and finding different ways to like play drums on their butt or just put their head on their butt or just, they're just obsessed with the other person's butt. And it's just, and it's sweet and cute, which is hilarious. Because instead of being like, oh, pervy and sexual, it's just like,
yeah.
Oh, he just wants to talk to your butt.
It's nice. Speaking of talking to butts, can we talk about the fact that Rami Margron is about to go after their jaunt through Hell's Kitchen to fucking Europe and then Oregon, just world traveling? Yeah.
They won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I'm just impressed with this whole European trip, and they're doing the whole, not Auschwitz or the other one.
I don't remember which one, but they are going to a concentration camp. They talked about it on a Rami's Rules, this idea that like, oh, I just realized I'm a Jew and my ancestors are connected to like things like concentration camps. And I've never really acknowledged that.
Isn't that interesting? And then how they're traveling with their friend, one of whom's dad and mom were both Nazis.
Yep.
And how I didn't know that. And then how that person is like, feels a sort of continual sense of like, I got to make up for that. And does a lot of things in their life to be like, my parents were Nazis. Let me go ahead and donate money to da-da-da. Or like, you know, whatever, show up for blah, blah, blah to show the Jews that I'm a German who's not terrible.
Hey, what's up? This is Rami. Listening to the last episode, they are in the conversation about Katie's boyfriend's friend exhibiting girlfriend behavior, writing the long letters, I love yous, and all that stuff. And the conversation about what disrespect and all this stuff. And I'm just listening like an alien. Because all of those rules about what is girlfriend behavior is like, it's like another culture to me. I certainly try to respect other people's cultures as soon as I am aware of them. And, but the whole premise does not relate to me and my life and a large percentage of my loved ones. I was even just watching this video by Alok, who is a trans activist, speaker, comedian, fashionista and sort of Instagram famous. And Alok was talking about how they treat their friends like lovers, in that they don't practice relationships where there are a lot of people who create a hierarchy, and they place lovers above friends in that hierarchy of importance. And Alok was talking about how they don't do that. They value their all of their love relationships, you know, whether there's sex connected to them or not, you know. And they were saying, yeah, I treat my friends like people talk about treating lovers. We go on dates and we make life plans together, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that is just, an example of more possibility out there. I feel like in our culture, that's been something in the counterculture for eternity, let's say, but like it's becoming more integrated into mainstream culture that people do that with friends. I think, what was it? Grey's Anatomy helped make that happen, right? This is my person. And millennials in the news choosing to buy houses together, friends choosing to buy houses together. I mean, of course, I am from a deep hippie culture where that's been going on forever. That kind of communal love and whatever, communal life. Anyway, yeah. So I absolutely want to respect my monogamous heteronormative friends as much as I respect anyone. And sometimes I do need to learn because I don't know your culture always. Rami's rules.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I mean, my thing with that was like, just clear it energetically, clear your karma, and you won't have that problem.
Right.
But then I think about people who that's not how your life is. You're not out there clearing shit.
No.
Like you're just a guy.
Well, he's an artist, so he's using that. He's a world famous music person, and so he uses that platform whenever he can.
I'm just saying, right? That's my whole point. It's sort of like, it's like not, you don't have to like heal it. You could just like do good stuff.
Right.
I personally don't prefer that option only. I'd like the idea of a little bit of both. For me, I'm an extremist in the other direction because I don't want another lifetime of this kind of shit. I want to wrap it all up so I can just like have some nice lifetimes in a row that are just like, yeah, and then we bought a house and we hung out, we had these kids and it was pretty days outside and then we slept.
And then I came back as an otter and that was cool.
That'd be nice. Let's do that. I do sometimes wish you could carry consciously into your conscious waking day-to-day life an awareness of every life you had lived before it.
Yeah.
But not in a way that would make you break down and sob.
All the time when you find out
Yeah.
how many atrocious things you were involved with.
Or like you feel the pain of it or whatever. But if you could just like someone like myself who's like cleared so many things, like it'd be cool to be like, wow, I'm not a murderer anymore. That's pretty great. Like, I'm not the perfect person I'd like to be, but I don't kill Jews. Like, that's nice.
Right.
I don't know. You know what I mean? It would make you have gratitude for like what you do have.
Yeah.
How are you with gratitude?
I live in it all the time. I'm very aware of it.
Really?
You mean expressing it or feeling it?
Feeling it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a way for me to combat my own feelings of guilt or unworthiness. Like it's kind of the flip side of that same thing. Like, oh, I have it so good and I feel bad about that. No, how about the other fucking thing? Be grateful for it.
Yeah.
I regularly get to indulge in gratitude. I'm one of the I feel like most of the time I am one of the most fortunate people I know. And I don't mean lucky, I mean fortunate. And I think they're different.
Yeah.
Lucky is just like capricious and random. I have been blessed through so many places in my life. Of course I have healing to do. Of course I have wounds. Of course I have damage. Of course I have all those things. But, my parents, how we got by, we never had a lot, but we always had enough. My beloved, I've cool. My brother has a niece and a nephew, both of whom are healthy and they're not, all the things, just little things like that. This house that I live and I get to go and, oh shit, someone stole my car. I got it back, yeah, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, some of that stuff though, you described some of that and I'm like, you do, I don't know. One of the things that if I were you, I'd have gratitude about only because I'm me. And so I don't have this. So I wish I did.
Yeah.
Some of those things are not the best and you have a pretty great attitude about it.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to? How you were raised? Genetics? Karma?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah. That's personality too. I mean, that's just that's maybe in my human design, or maybe it's, but it does have to do somewhat with that sort of ineffable thing that we all have, which is personality. And the ability to just deal. Yeah, because I've watched people, you see people who are also very unfortunate, and it seems like the misfortunes that are piled on them are not connected even. It's not like, oh, because they made bad choices and then they got addicted to drugs and then this, like that's connected, right? Like I have a friend who's had a lot of health problems through their life and, dealt with it, has an ongoing issue. And then like that's the person that has stage 4 ovarian cancer.
Man.
That's not connected to their other health problems in theory. Right?
But maybe.
And they just seem to be and whenever I talk to those people, but it's also whenever I talk to that person in the past, even before this cancer thing was happening, it was like, what's the litany of bullshit you're going to share with me today? So they're a person who lives in sort of the negative loop.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
You're saying this is a person who has hard things happen to them and they're negative about it.
And they're negative. Well, I would be too, but they're also negative. I feel like the list of hard things that happens seems longer than it should be.
Sure.
Like, why are you also the one who got mugged and this and that and this and that, while I'm the person who was like, that was an okay situation. That was great.
Yeah, I could tell you why. I mean,
it's karma.
Well, we'd have to talk to that person and open their records,
right.
But it's one of 3 things basically, or one of a couple things. It's either they're tying up loose ends this lifetime, the ton of karma, or past life stuff that went on, or both combined, or trauma in childhood that creates that. Like trauma creates that kind of stuff.
Right.
All of it. The external stuff, the sickness, the genetics, which is tied in with karma and trauma. The end of list.
Yeah. It just does seem that
it sucks.
There are certain like magnets. Like,
yeah, but I would say
like attracts like is the problem.
That's my thing though. Yeah. Things are being attracted to something. Now, what people don't like me to say that, because that can sound like I'm saying that person is creating it or it's their fault.
Right.
And that is not what I am saying, because I am that person. Like I am the perfect example of well, let me approach this another way. I know I had to learn a hard way that understanding that my system is the thing attracting these problems doesn't mean I am bad and wrong or I've done something wrong. I have had trauma occur to my body and soul, and the energy that sits in my body as a result of that calls to it a lot of bad shit. So for me, it's a very empowering thing to say, because, and I'm glad we're talking about this for the listener's sake, because if I could say, here, we'll use the example of dating toxic men, which I used to do. First, I had to understand I was dating toxic men. I was like, okay, I see. Everyone I choose is alcoholic and emotionally unavailable and not nice to me. Got it. All right. So stop choosing those. Okay. So then I recognize them before I choose them. I'd be like, I'm attracted to this person. I have all this vibe with them. And very clearly they are either drug addicted, alcoholic, or just fully not available. And usually they were actors, which is what gave me a clue they were not available. 9 times out of 10.
Right.
At that time and that age group in my reality. Then came the layer where it was like, I'm not choosing them, but I still want them. How do I change that? And it was like, why? I had to ask, why do I want that? Okay, there's something in my heart that literally wants that.
Yeah.
What is that something in my heart? Okay, so I went into that. Oh, look at that. It's the result of sexual abuse history. So unconsciously, I was recreating my own abuse so that I would learn where to heal. So then I learned, okay, that darkness in your heart, there's a way to clear that and heal that and integrate that. So I did that. And then I didn't date for a while. And then I wanted a nice man. But that was, I'm describing casually a 15-year journey, because it was so fucking deep and there were so many layers to it. But what I want to say about it is getting to it actually changing came from being willing to say, something in me is choosing this. Something in me is, I was like a toxic man magnet. They would come they were everywhere and I was just with them and it would just happen. And after doing a lot of work, there was a moment where I remember saying to a friend, I just don't see them anymore. Did they go away?
Huh.
Where are they? They just weren't showing up in my field of vision anymore because my insides didn't need to be shown that reflection anymore.
Right.
So so when I hear a story like that, I feel very much for that person that you're describing because I am that person.
Yeah.
And what I know for that person's sake is it starts with some kind of trauma, whether it was a past life trauma or this life or both, or 60 layers of each. And that's not your fault, but it is your responsibility.
Yeah.
There's no like big bad set of coincidences creating that.
Yeah.
It's not like, I wonder why. There's reasons and there's solutions and it's not their fault.
And just to kind of put a cap on this particular person, I saw them recently, and because the level of the problem was so much larger.
Yeah. Cancer.
That it actually shifted. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, she's in treatment and it's complicated. Actually, she started a separate Facebook group. She's like, if you want to hear about this shit, I'm going to be documenting it, but I'm not going to shit bomb all of you with this. But if you're interested, subscribe to this little thing. And I did because it's interesting.
Yeah.
She's really good at managing. She knows she's one of the smartest people I know. And she can she knows exactly what every medication she has is called and what it does and how it works with the other medications. And she's her own case manager in a sense.
That's a lot.
And she's able to do that. And seeing her, and we had a good little chat recently, and her energy around sort of misfortune and, oh, everything sucks, was different. She was actually a brighter light talking about the level of what she's going through. And I wanted to keep talking about it. Whereas often I've been trapped in conversations with her going, yeah, great. Okay.
What does she attribute the new lightness to?
I mean, she didn't do that. I was just noting it.
Yeah, but what do you think? What happened?
I mean, I think the level of a lot of the litany in the past was petty.
Oh, I see.
I felt like, oh, shut up. I kind of would just be like,
right.
You're just a negative person.
I see.
And I was judging her and I wasn't really into it. But the level of this, I'm not going to hold any judgment on her and I also gave her space to feel bad about it. I was like,
yeah,
that's fucking crazy. Holy shit, you're going through something. And maybe it was just me giving her that truth also was able to, so she didn't have to convince me that it was bad. So she could just share it more directly. I don't know. I'm theorizing now, but but also I think
she didn't have to convince you what? I didn't hear you.
It was like she didn't have to convince me it was bad. So she didn't have to be all woe is me because I was already giving her that. So then she could be more matter of fact. Maybe. That one doesn't actually play out in my head.
I'm trying to hear you and you're breaking up a lot. That's why my face is doing that.
It's okay. My theories are unsound. As I say them out loud, they're not.
Well, I just want to...
They're not working.
Sometimes you just say words, don't you?
Yeah, we discussed this.
You just make sounds from your face holes, and then you're like...
Lately, I've been making jokes that don't land. And I just say, hey, I'm still workshopping it. I'm just auditioning that one.
But it's sort of like I watch you theorize on the fly, and then it's like a wet fish on a hot pavement. And then
sometimes it's fucking genius.
Yep. Sure. Yes. And
they can't all be gems.
It's true. I give you credit for just saying all the words. But I do want to add about your friend. None of that. It's like, okay. None of what I said means anything beyond. How do I say? I just when I think about how much fucking time and energy I've put into just getting okay, I don't think just because I know that things work that way mechanically the way I described it does not mean I think every human is going to have the capacity to face it all in that way and process it all and deal.
Hell no.
It's just not the track everybody's on. And it wouldn't even be correct to get on that track. It's more just my track. So I can speak from my experience about having been on this track, but I don't have the point of view that we're coming back to the Nazi guy example. It's like, thank God that guy's doing good shit for Jews now in the present time and hasn't cleared his karmic whatever, because that's how he's living it out in his way.
Right.
Thank God. Yay. Really,
Yeah.
I don't know, the older I get, the more I'm just like that, the live and let live of the second line body. I just feel really clear that like so much of our lives is, from my perspective now, what's the word? Like it's what's going to be is going to be. And you've got the gifts you have and you don't have the gifts you don't have. Like, so like we just are all doing the best we can with what we have. And everybody's so different that it's just like, how the fuck would I know what anyone should do ever, except if the records say it, not my ass.
Yeah.
It feels nice to have the perspective of like my track is honing itself and becoming clearer and clearer to me. And that helps me be like, wow, my track is so idiosyncratic. There can't be a delusion that my track would somehow be some high and mighty
the track
version of good.
Yeah.
Or even a version of good or right or holy or something. It's just my weird track.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's something useful to say from it. But like everyone's going to gleam. I was thinking about what they're going to gleam from it. I was thinking about this lately. I've had
Wait, did you say gleam?
I said gleam, but I should have said glean.
Yeah. I just wanted to.
Yeah. Thank you.
I like how I just sat there with it. I didn't actually correct you, but I did. But then you just
gleam?
Just checking. You did.
Did say gleam. You know what's funny about that is Eric's.
It's a mute point.
I see what you did.
You see what I did there?
Eric is a programmer, and when he has this very idiosyncratic programming language he likes because it's obtuse and difficult to use. That programming language is called Gleam, and so we make a lot of Gleam jokes in this house.
Oh God, I've never even heard of Gleam, and
you shouldn't have.
I've heard a lot of them because of working with the people and coaching them.
Uh-huh.
Something I'm really good at, but often dread doing.
Dude, right there with you. So glean. What was I talking about? Gleaning.
Glean.
What did I glean?
Fuck, it doesn't matter. Apparently, I wasn't listening to your content, just to your.
Who knows?
To your grandma.
You never are. Why do we talk? We just pretend.
Why do you keep talking to me? I'm such a dick.
You're such a douchebag. Speaking of douchebags. Oh my God. You were saying something a second ago that made me think about, okay, we all have our things, our ways that we can be arrogant or short-sighted or clueless, or all of us, right? We all have these, we can be human and go into what AA calls character defects. One that I've been seeing, I have a hard time with people who are really blessed or privileged having arrogant-based judgment of people who have a hard time.
Yeah.
Like, or who have gone through shit, where you'll see it in their face where they're like saying the words of empathy, but really judging somebody who's going through it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, good for you at the top of the mountain that you can comfortably judge all the rest of us sad plebes on the fucking baseline of reality. Fuck off. It's so much worse than someone on the bottom shit kicking another person on the bottom.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're like fuck off with that is how I feel about that. And I've certainly had my own versions of it, for sure. And yet I kiss God's feet with gratitude to say, I'm glad to be able to catch that when it has me in its clutches, because I think it's so icky.
Yeah.
I was part of, this is what I'm actually thinking about, is this class. Part of what I hated about teaching it is people who come to this particular program are people who have enough disposable income to spend like way too much money on a continuing studies class in Palo Alto. So they're usually very successful people who believe in their own, like they think they are at cause for that.
Right. They believe their own PR.
Yeah. They haven't really oftentimes looked at the possibility that, maybe they have some shortcomings or like other people aren't handed ease in life. Like there's just a lot of fucking entitlement over there. And I end up teaching a fair amount about humility and seeing clearly, and they can resent the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I was thinking about when I was talking about that a minute ago, was those people. It's really like gross to me. And I still want to be a rich person.
Yeah.
Because I am not confused about, you could be a rich person who's not a dick, Or you could be a fucking arrogant, entitled rich person.
Okay.
What kind of rich person do you want to be, Cassidy?
2 questions about wealth that come up.
Okay, I'm ready.
When the Mega Millions or whatever hit $1 billion,
Huh.
do you want to win that?
So the reason not to would be taxes.
Scares the shit out of me.
Why?
I now am saddled with
Oh.
$1 billion.
It scares you, really?
And I don't know what to do.
Oh, I 100% know what to do. I want to win it.
Now, $3 million? Fuck yeah, bitch.
Interesting.
Bring that shit on. $10 million, bring that on. But $1 billion?
I know what
So
you
yeah,
should do.
would you want to win $1 billion?
Yes. Here's what you do when you win. You call me and I will help you manage it. You put me on the payroll and it'll be my job to dole it out. Actually.
And you want that job? That sounds like a terrible job.
Oh, God. Give me that job tomorrow.
You want to be like the person in charge of someone else's foundation?
Well, no, but if you're asking me if I want to win it.
Well, yeah. No, but if you want that job, yes.
Well, if you're paying me enough, yeah.
Okay.
Because here's why. To me, it's like such power. It's Enneagram 8 power.
Right.
But also
Enneagram 3. How's everyone going to see me now that I have $1 billion?
You're so funny that way because every other 3 I know would be like, how's everyone going to see me now that I have $1 billion?
Exactly.
And you go the other way with it.
I'm too aware of. I have too many eat the rich people in my life.
Yeah, it's true. So here's why. I mean, like okay. Oh my God, everything come back to human design. I have gate 21 coming off of an open ego. Gate 21 is the gate of the biting through, the huntress. And it's the gate that's pointing at 45, which is the gate that knows how to gather the funds, but the gate 21 knows how to disperse them.
Oh.
So I have in me all the time this energy that's like, I know exactly where I'm going to put all the money. I know where it goes. Now, who's giving it to me? Who's giving it? Who's gathering it? Where's it coming from? I'm waiting for that 45. And for years,
yeah, I don't think
you don't. And for years, I was in judgment of myself for not having gate 45 because I kept thinking, if only I could gather it, I know what to do with it. Till I understood my human design and realized, remember, everybody, you want to research the open gates, the empty gates that do not have definition across from your hanging gates. So when you have a gate hanging, meaning it doesn't make a full channel, right? 2 gates make a channel. When you have one.
What's the opposite gate?
The empty thing across from it that you don't have is, if you were to, all of you tonight, go home and look at all the empty gates across from anywhere you have a hanging gate, you will find a list of all the things you judge yourself for.
Oh.
That you never again have to judge yourself for. Because
those are the things that have nothing to do with you or aren't.
Those are the things you do not have, cannot have, are not, and cannot be. You can't be that. I can't be the 45. I don't have it. But I could meet someone who has the 45 and bada bing, bada boom, we can scissor. Each other.
We both made the same gesture on the camera for the listeners.
What would happen is, let's say if you had gate 45 and I have the 21, together when we're standing near each other, we form that channel and together you and I would make a lot of money.
And I would bring it in and you would know how to get rid of it.
Yes. So I would love to make $1 billion because immediately I go, okay, I have like a list right now. I know what I would do.
Right. Obviously you only make 500 million at that point right away because of taxes. Fine. That's fine.
So first thing, pay off all my debt.
Sure.
Pay off help Eric with whatever he needs. I'd buy a bunch of properties and I'd put other properties on the property and start making money that way. I'd be like buying property and having properties on the property, like Airbnbs and stuff, other people managing it. And so the money is growing. Then I'd get busy. Once that's handled, I'd have some in like high interest savings things. So it's growing. Then I'd go, all right, who needs it? Then I'd hire someone to do research to figure out, to come back and tell me all the greatest foundations in the world that are actually effective and doing really good shit. And I'd be like, cool, because I wouldn't want to research it because I'm terrible at research, but I'd want to hire someone to research and I'd pay them very well. Then they'd come back and they'd do a presentation on a wall with a projector. And there'd be pretty pictures. And they go, Katie, this organization does this. And they put it over here and look at all the proof that they've done good stuff. Bill Gates' thing does this and it does this. And then I'd be like, cool. a million here, a million there, a million here, a million there. And then I'd wait a couple years and let it all sit. And then I'd do that again.
Yep. And then meanwhile, you'd have whatever 20 million of it just sitting,
Yes.
making its own money and living on that.
Yes.
Okay. That's thought one.
Okay.
$3 million. You win $3 million tomorrow.
Okay.
What do you do?
Okay. Pay off all my debt.
Yep. These are the common answers, everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what I said too. Good. Pay off your debt.
I trade my car in for a car I really want. I'm really kind of bummed about my car, right? I want a better car.
Okay.
I'd get a cooler car.
Yep.
Then I'd probably I'd put some of it again somewhere where it's going to grow and where I can't really touch it until I'm older because I'm bad at that.
Yes.
So I would want to just take 500,000 of it and I have no access to that anymore.
Yep.
And it just goes away and it's growing and I can't touch that until I'm 70, whatever, something.
Yep.
And then I think I'd have to really think about it because, I have this business that's doing quite well. So I'd want to invest in that a bit. I'd probably buy $40,000 worth of furniture. So I always have everything I need for every possible job. I'd buy a box truck for the business. And then I think I might be looking into property, like property with a house and an ADU on it. And I would want it to be a property that's clearly going to grow because, renting is nah, I don't want to do that anymore. And then I'd see how much I have left and go from there.
Yeah. That's what I like the 3 million because it's a lot, but it's not a lot.
No, it's not. That'll go fast.
Yeah. If you don't I would definitely, pay off the house and probably pay off pay off my parents' house, pay out, maybe help my brother find a house, that kind of thing. Like do the close family security thing.
Yep.
Start with close family security.
And then you're going to buy that RV.
And then maybe, or I buy just a cute bungalow in a town somewhere because that's all I really want.
Oh.
Like with a good space, but not huge.
Yeah.
Just simple, but really awesome.
Yeah.
But also I would love to put literally $1 million away somewhere.
Oh, so good.
Because the main thing that haunts me
age
is just aging and because
having nothing.
Yeah. It's what am I going to do in 25 years?
Yeah.
When I can't work and do whatever I want anymore.
You're going to be running feet first gigs when you're 90? No.
No.
You're not going to sling chickens for $100 or whatever it is.
Humorously enough,
yeah,
very different than you on that.
Please tell me.
What job do I look forward to every time it comes on my calendar?
Aww,
Feet first. I'm like, that's great. Yeah, cool. Oh, for first gig tomorrow, fine. I'll have to wake up at 5 a.m. Oh, that sucks. That's fine.
Wow.
For some reason, there is no dread in that gig for me.
So let me ask you 3 questions.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel more like yourself?
Yep.
Do you have energy for it?
Most of the time.
Is it satisfying?
Enough.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it is satisfying.
I think it is satisfying for you. What do you mean enough?
Yeah, because you just do it and you're like, they had fun.
Yeah.
That's literally, I had one goal. I had one job. And my job was did you have fun?
That sounds pretty satisfying for you.
Yeah. It's strange. Because I'm perfectly good at feet first. I'm fine. It doesn't matter. Speechless stuff, I'm really good at it and I dread it whenever it's coming. And then I do it and I kill it.
Yeah.
And I'm even happy when I did it.
Yeah.
It's the approach that kills me.
Yeah.
Especially the online ones, the one-on-ones.
Yeah.
The group ones, going somewhere to do a group thing. I love that shit.
Yeah.
That's fun. You and I got to do one recently and that was recently. It's a year and a half ago now.
Oh, that one down south there.
Yeah. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one. I don't know. I might be running out of juice for even that. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you.
Every day changes.
And now you sounds like you are though into and committed to and excited about continuing your staging business.
Yeah. It's good. It's fun.
Let me ask you 3 questions.
Yes, please.
Do you have energy for it?
Yes.
Does it make you feel more like yourself?
Yes.
Is it satisfying?
It is.
Is that the third one, satisfying?
That is the third one.
Yeah.
It really is. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's very funny, but it is.
And for the most part, on a smaller scale, I feel that way about going and doing them with you. I'm like,
oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, sure.
Make a couple bucks and just fuck around for a little while. And
I love that it's just us.
use my body.
You and Dylan and me and David just being douchebags and moving furniture. It's like fun.
Yeah, it was a little awkward the other day, but we handled it.
What do you mean?
Just clearing out the house and putting it all on the front porch was the way to go.
Oh, fucking A. We should have told that story, but maybe not. Maybe not yet.
No, you don't need to spread the bad vibes around.
Well, I mean, there's many ways to frame that narrative. There was a situation at a house it was not an appealing situation to be in, but we got out of there in 20 minutes, so
yeah,
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeebus. How about that situation?
Yeebus. So good.
All right, it feels like we're wrapping up. What do you think?
Yeah, I am melting. I'm completely sweated out. I took a shower earlier. Pointless.
You took a shower and you ruined it.
I ruined it. I've wasted all that work. No, I literally feel kind of like I'm in a sauna, which is great. I should love that. Why is that not a bad thing?
I love you. Let's all do our work, but also have a lot of fun. And is it satisfying to do your work? If not, don't do your work.
You know what I'm addicted to is pickleball. And I just found out that we're starting later tomorrow for my Feet First gig. So I get to play pickleball tomorrow morning and I'm super excited.
Hey, can I play with you sometime?
I play at the Y then, but we could go do another thing. I've
never once done it and I want to do it.
Right. So I'd have probably what we would want to do is what I did with Jonathan is like we need to get you a paddle and a couple of balls.
I'll do that.
Well, they have balls at the place. And then we go to one of the lesser populated locations that they have things set up.
All right.
So that you can go to a side court. Because it's a very social thing where you show up and then someone's like, all right, we need 2 more players, two on two. And it's always doubles. And like you get thrown in the deep end kind of quick.
Oh, cool. I'm ready. I played professional tennis.
Right. So we would just need one session where I go and we go off on the side.
Okay.
And we play singles and I teach you how to play.
Great. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like I'm super down. Okay, I'll text you.
Okay, great. Okay. Well, let's find a time to do it this week, maybe.
Sunday.
Friday.
Maybe.
My weekend's kind of shot. I think I'm shooting another film on Sunday, which I'm excited about.
Oh, that's exciting.
I think. I'm not certain, but it looks like I am.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Do your work unless it makes you tired, and then just don't do your work.
Just fuck it.
If it's satisfying, it makes you feel like yourself. Go ahead. All right, bye.
Do good work. Yay, love you all.
What are you asking for? All of the answers? Say what? All of the answers? Yeah, all the answers.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We'd love to hear from you. Please email us with your questions so that we have questions to answer in the Akashic Records. Our email address is allanswerspod@gmail.com. That's allanswerspod@gmail.com. And if you'd like to find us on Facebook or Twitter, it's @allanswerspod, @allanswerspod. Thank you. Well, this will be a fun edit for you, Desmond. What the fuck?
Mixed and edited by Desmond McNeese for We Mixed It, LLC. Go to whatsoundsawesome.com.